There we go. I'm just going to cut it off with the music. I like that better. And there you go. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. It is good to be back in the studio. I missed you all last week because I was working in someone else's studio. I had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I was working a live show operating 4 PTZ cameras remotely. And that was definitely a little trick. If you've never done that sort of work, it is kind of a challenge operating robocams, as they call them, PTZ cameras, because the controller that you're using can only talk to one camera at a time. You push camera 2 and then you can either call up a preset or you can operate the joystick. Camera 3 and go do this. You can also program moves. So I can go camera 4, go to preset 2, it goes over there, and then execute 2, and then it'll do like a slow pan that you've got saved or something like that. That's all well and good, but we had this keynote presenter, and she was up there and she's talking and talking and talking, but she's moving the stage. She's working this. She's talking to these people. She's talking to those people. She's moving over. So I'm like going back and forth and everything. And the director's like, can you give me a different shot on 4, which is the audience camera? Can you give me a different shot on 4? I'm like, no, I can't, because I've only got one joystick and I can only talk to one camera at a time. You know, if you can guarantee she's not going to move, then I can jump to 4, put it in a position, and then jump back to 1. But you can only talk to one camera at a time. So there's definitely a time in doing live events when having operators on the cameras can really, really make a difference. Here, let me start the Instagram. Let's call this out here. Still trying to do Instagram. Not getting any traction on Instagram, but Instagram is what it is. And maybe long form video, tutorial videos is not an Instagram thing. So anyway, on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you tuning in. Again, I was not here last week because I was working, but I am back this week and have got a whole lot of things on the plate. If you are tuning in through Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, or one of those other things, be sure to go to the StreamTek channel on YouTube, because that is where all the content resides. And also there's now a StreamTek.us website for people who are looking for information about the production and things like that. And I'm still working on getting it all ironed out, putting in links to gear and things like that. And then also finding a way to take posts and have them automatically appear on the website. That would be great too. So I'm not a website person. So if you know a website person, let me know. But today we are talking about the miri bonding. Miri is new. Miri is new to the game. There's lots of things out there that do bonding. A lot of people know LiveView and Teradek and other big solutions, and they have been doing bonding for a long time, and they do it very well. There's nothing wrong with that. And then at the lower end, you could use Speedify, which was a solution that the YOLObox used for a while. Kind of behind the scenes, you could like drop it in, kind of like, slide it in sideways. But now YOLO has their own bonding solution as well. And what bonding is, for those who are new to the experience, bonding is basically taking your video signal, and instead of going through one connection out to wherever it's got to go, you're like a poker player, and you go, you're sending out individual frames, pop, 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 not even frames, packets, individual packets of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many connections you have. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And they all go out and they all travel different paths, up, down, left, right, or wherever, to wherever the receiving, or what I call the debonding part of your service is. If you buy a router or a modem that it says it does bonding, but you're not paying for any debonding on the other end, I would really question whether it's really bonding, because somebody has to pay for a server at the other end to receive all these packets that are going to arrive out of order. and then has to put them back in order. So there's processing involved, and then it knows exactly where you actually wanted it to go. So this debonding server has to physically exist somewhere, and it has to be purchased and installed and powered and cooled and be connected to the internet, and all those things have a cost. So if somebody's saying, you know, oh, we have bonding, yes, this thing does bonding, and you don't actually pay for anything, pay for the bonding part, then might not actually be bonding. And on the YouTube channel, there is a video, there's a great video about LAN, WAN, multi-WAN, failover, bonding. So definitely scroll through here. I'm probably not going to find it real quick like now. But it was a very good video overlooking the magic that is bonding. This is all the NAB footage. There it is, WANs and bonding. So you could buy a multi-WAN router or switch, and it's like, I'm hooked up to multiple internet connections, but you're not bonding. Those things you don't have to pay a monthly fee for. I can hook up 2 different LANs, I can hook up a cellular and stuff like that. That's great. But what you have is failover. And what you have is prioritization, or it's going to put, your streaming on this one connection, but then your other things on this other connection, and it'll do load balancing. None of those are bonding, and have nothing to do with bonding. And if you are bonding on one connection and that connection drops, it's going to break. So a multi-WAN is not the same as bonding. Now, I always like to know where everyone is watching from. So if you are just tuning in, hey, put in the comments. This is an interactive show. I'm here, you're here. I'm not artificial. I'm not AI reading a marketing sheet in a really funny voice. This is the best thing ever. This is just look at these great features. No, I'm a real person. So I assume that you tune in here because it's actually really a person who has experience and expertise that you want to work with. So where are you watching from today? And what streaming questions do you have? It does not have to be related to bonding. We could talk about anything. But in particular, do you use bonding for your streaming? If so, put in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Right now, we've got Keith C. is watching from Kenai Sports Live, watching until he has to get to work. And Glenn Hodnett says he used Bondix on a Teletronica Root X or a LiveView Pro. Yeah, like I said, LiveView is one of the big ones in the industry. McGee Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Broadcast is watching us again from Pico Riviera, California. You probably realized I wasn't here last week. Carlos is a reseller, and he offers over a half dozen bonded devices. So there are lots of solutions out there. And what I'm going to talk about today is one of the new solutions that are out there. And you clicked the wrong thing, and now it won't go away. And Nick Ramirez is in Colorado. So thank you all for being here. Today, as I says, I am going to be talking about, if I can pick it up, the Miri Technologies router. Not really router. I guess it is a router because it is giving out DHCP, but this is, I wouldn't necessarily use this for, if you were doing NDI over a LAN, I would not use this as your LAN. This has a specific purpose. This is a bonding, it's a dual SIM bonding router. Disclosure, they sent this over. I did not have to pay for this. They sent this over to do a video. That's the extent of the relationship. So I am doing a video on this, but hey, I love doing videos on things that you can use. So this works out pretty good. So let me open this up. Let's go to overhead and do side by side. So this is the box. We're going to open this up. That is the Miri itself. And as you can see, dual batteries as well as 12 volt in and a plethora of antennas. Wi-Fi, can I turn this around? Will that read? Yeah. 5G, 4G, Wi-Fi. Here's your SIM card 2. Here's your SIM card 1. So you're putting your SIMs in the device. So you can have 2 cellular connections built in, and that's why you've got these cellular antennas on the top. And then you've got a 12 volt 3 amp in. So 12 volt standard, which is good. And then you've got the 7 volt NPF batteries will power this up. So you can have battery backup. You can run just on a battery. And amazingly, they put a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom here. But this thing is a couple pounds. This is, it's got some weight to it. I'll have to look at the specifications, but yeah, it's chunky. You got 2 wired WANs, which are wide area network, which basically means your connection to something else. That's what WAN means. WAN means I'm reaching out to the internet type of thing. LAN is your local area network as opposed to the wide area network. So you're local. So you got 2 LANs. So, you know, like you could hook up 2 things. And it also has Wi-Fi. So you could use Wi-Fi to access this box, to control this box, but also to hook up multiple things. And it can also serve for your bonding, which we'll get to in a minute. On the side, you got a bunch of holes because you could actually rack mount this. This is a half rack width, which is very nice. It plays nicely, and it slides right into a 1 RU, and the feet are very flat, so you don't have to like take things apart. You've got a USB 1 and a USB 2 on the front. Why would you have USBs? Well, if you wanted more cellular, you take your USB stick and you just stick it right in here. Boom, you've got another internet connection just like that. So you get your 2 built-ins, and then you can add 2 more on the front. And they could also be, if you needed another local area network like this, you just plug that in the front. Boom. And now you hook in another thing. Or, like I like to do, if this box is where you are, you're situated, you know, in a building, and you set this up. I would not say with the power connectors on top, it's going to be weatherproof. So you would not want to put this outside. But you could stick something else outside, like this Netgear. Netgear's not paying for this. I own this. You could take Netgear or some other router or some other cellular hotspot that has an Ethernet jack. And then you put this thing outside the building up on a pole, which is why actually I got a magnet plate on the bottom of it. So I stick it on top of a light stand, and then I run that Ethernet cable all the way in, and I plug it into here. So now the antennas to connect to my cellular are not in the building with everybody else. My antennas are outside the building, closer, louder for the cellular tower to hear. And I can hear the cellular tower better because I'm not in the midst of all the RF in the room. Because you figure everybody's got a phone or 2. So that is a handy little feature, having those up there. Or if you have one that doesn't have a Ethernet jack, you've got some that have a USB-C, and you can tether with the USB-C into the USB on the front of the box. Very cool. Continuing further down in the box is the book. It's a quick start guide. So in here, we've got some stuff. I already took the power supply out. And then over here, you also have the rack ears. Although, technically, you've got 1 rack ear, and if you were to mount it in a rack by itself, you would need a long one on one side and a short one on the other side. So they give you a short one. Did they give you 2? No, they give you 1 short one. That's interesting. You got a bunch of screws for a rack, okay? And you've got a SIM card removal tool and screws to mount the rack ears to the box, and then various worldwide adapters, worldwide plug tips for the power supply, which I've already installed under the table here. Then you've got a bunch of antennas. Now, my question is, I mean, these are really chunky looking antennas. How do you differentiate between the 5G, the 4G, and the Wi-Fi antenna? Oh, it says right there, Wi-Fi. Okay, good. At least that one's different. Because Wi-Fi does not operate at cellular frequencies. Wi-Fi operates at Wi-Fi frequencies, and they're Wi-Fi frequencies because there's no cellular there. So you can't use the same antennas for both. You're not going to get a whole lot of beam forming with antennas that close together. And the rest of them do not seem to be labeled, so I guess they're all cellular. So, yep, dropping them. Any questions coming in? Would Miri be good for remote location events? It looks like heavy and large. It is chunky and it is heavy. It is definitely heavy. But what you're really getting with the Miri, because it runs Speedify, it's essentially a little computer. And that little computer, and there are people that, you know, build these things ad hoc, like with a Raspberry. So they've got a Raspberry Pi, and they have, this is laborious. They have a Raspberry Pi that is connected to multiple connections, and then, you know, you've got to hook up your different cellular. And what this is basically doing is giving you a commercial product that is delivering that capability. So you are getting 2 cellular modems. You are getting a Wi-Fi access point. You are getting 2 WAN connections and 2 LAN connections. So it's kind of like a switch as well. So you're getting a switch, a computer. You're actually getting a color touchscreen display to control it. You're getting battery connections so that you could run it off of remote power. You're getting it all in a very durable case that will dent your wood floor should you drop it. And you are getting a lot of antennas. Let me out. I would mount it like this, honestly, but the display is on the bottom. So, yeah. Now we're done with the box. So this is the Miri. I'll just put the box down here. And is it good in a remote location? Well, again, like I said, this is not necessarily meant to be outside. And the people behind this box were at the Stream Geeks Summit yesterday. And they spoke about the fact that they are already working on antennas, external antennas, so that you could take this and have this in a building or in a truck or a van or something and have a directional antenna outside aiming a long distance, you know, towards a tower that you know where the towers are. And there's all kinds of apps and websites you can go to that'll tell you where cellular towers are around you. So if you're in a remote location, there's still, in some direction, there is a tower that can provide data for you, or a couple towers. And the thing with bonding is you don't want to send everything to one tower. If there's a T-Mobile tower in one direction, you don't want to have 3 T-Mobile connections and all send them to the same tower, because if your connection to that tower becomes, you know, tough, whether, you know, due to weather or distance or other cellular issues, or the tower is running out of data because it's also serving a bunch of other people in another direction, you want to say, okay, I'm going to send half my data to the T-Mobile tower, and they're not paying for mentioning, and some more other data to Verizon or to AT&T. And I'm speaking just of the cellular providers in the United States, because those are the ones that are available here. Replace those words with the cellular providers in your country if you're watching this in another country. Leo says, have you ever done a review of the AVCAN's AVJoy Pro joystick, and will they work with OBSBot multicam set up through NDI? I have not. I don't know that one. It's impossible to know every piece of gear being produced by every company and coming out through all different things. So I'm sorry, I'm just going to be upfront. I'm not going to try to make up an answer. I don't know. I'm also not AI, so I can't just quickly scour the web and say, why, yes, da 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 da. So, do you need a special USB-C cable to get the data instead of the power cable? Or cables now have everything together? I feel it's actually the other way around. Almost all USB cables are data cables, and they created special power cables to not have the data lines running through them first for security, so that you could carry a power cable and plug into like an airport or a hotel or something like that, and not worry that it's also going to try and communicate with your device and maybe put something on your device or get data from your device, or, you know, do polling or something like that. So they just run the two power leads between the plug and your device. Works great for just powering it up, but then don't use those cables to try and pass data. If you want to do just data, a normal, you know, USB cable will do the job, because it'll have both the power pins and the data pins. Did it again. Looks like BNC would have been better for the antennas on all that screwing. Yes, you know, I did do quite a bit of screwing around with these antennas here, but the thing is, that is a standard connection. It's an SMA. And SMA, not that it matters with this device, but SMA is actually waterproof. It's very reliable. And with the frequencies that these are working at, you know, which could be 5 gigahertz or so, the SMA provides a very low loss connection. A BNC is not really good at the gigahertz range. It's good at the megahertz range and up to a certain point, which is why with these devices also, because, you know, you've got all these connections on the back, BNC connectors would have made all of this a whole lot larger. But SMA has been the standard for cellular and for Wi-Fi since the beginning. So it's not that like they really had a choice when it came to what are the connectors we're going to put on the back plane here for all these antennas. It's going to be SMA. Plus, also, there's a worldwide, you know, collection of accessories. You know, if you wanted to swap these antennas out with something else, if I wanted to put, you know, a different kind of Wi-Fi antenna or directional Wi-Fi antenna or anything like that, it's going to have an SMA connector. So if I want compatibility, I have to make these connectors compatible with the world of accessories that already exist out there. Good question comes in. Do you use a standard Speedify subscription? I didn't boot it up yet, but my understanding is, and this is based on the fact that the Director Mini also uses Speedify. And if you already have a Speedify subscription, you can just tack this on as one of the devices you're using your Speedify. You could have it separate if you wanted to have it for billing purposes. Like I use Speedify on my personal phone and I have a personal thing, but then for business, I have a business account that may use more data and it's billed to the business and it's, you know, it's deductible. But also if you do have the same plan on your mobile device and on the Miri, Speedify offers, what is it called? It's on the box. Oh no, it's over here. I called it up over here. PC. Speedify. Speedify Pair and Share. There it is. I wanted to get the name right, so I apologize for the delay. Speedify has this thing called Pair and Share. So if you have several cell phones together in an area and you're on Verizon and T-Mobile and AT&T or whatever, you are all basically collectively sharing data with Speedify. It's like one big connection to the internet as opposed to multiple little ones. So if you're on a road trip and there's no T-Mobile tower right where you are, but there's a Verizon tower, everybody can still get data on their phone. And then you move out of the range of the Verizon tower, but now you're where there's an AT&T tower, everybody still has all the data on their phone because the one connection is shared to all of them, no matter who that one connection is. And this is included. So if you have Pair and Share on your personal phone and it's the same account as on the Miri, then you're adding that into the collective bonding pool without any additional cost. And then we have, oh, my cursor's on the wrong screen. It's a router plan, I believe, more expensive. Possibly. I have not actually signed up for it. Again, I'm just unboxing it today. But the Miri is miri.tech. That's their website, miri.tech. So let us go to the overhead. So this is the box. I have already plugged in the power. So let's power this up, and I'm going to turn this around because it has a screen. So this way I can access the power jack on the back. And then I've got an Ethernet cable here. Plug this in to the WAN port. All right, and it's booting up already. Go to that one. So I've got a camera set up here to look at the front touchscreen. Device activation. Start. Is it focused? I'm actually looking at the screen just like you are. Start activation to keep network connected, powered by Speedify. So, see if I can. Nope, not that way. There we go. A little sharper there. So I'm going to touch activate. Activation chip. Trying to use my phone here. There it goes. And I just got a note. Free for 6 months ish with the purchase of the router. I think I read. That's a comment that came in. So yes, what it's doing here now is it's saying sign in if you have if you already have a Speedify account. And let's see. Ryan, who is an expert in this box, is just messaging me because it's a live show that he could possibly, let's see if I can send an invite. It would be really cool to have him on. Let's see. I'm gonna take a moment and send him a link. So give me a moment. Pause for the. I didn't think anybody would be available. Those dashes. Of course, it has to be really complex. I think StreamYard's got better linkage. All right, we'll see if he pops in. So I appreciate your patience with that while I tried to send that out. Where are we at on the front of this thing again? We are waiting for, yes, it's waiting for me to sign in with the account. And no. Don't have a Speedify account. Get started. So we're doing this live. Save 70% during their fall sale. Get a 2-year pass for $99. Non-renewing. Activation completed. How did I do that? All right, it says I've got no batteries. I'm plugged in. My data rate is 0 up and 0 down. I have a WAN. No WAN 2. You can see right here. No SIM, no SIM. And then there's my connections over there. And it looks like it's indicating that there's 2 pages. There's more over there, yes. Power and device info. So you can scroll between data on the screen. And if I did plug in a battery, There you go. Boop, 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 boop. Now, what we really want to do is we want to administer this. We want to see what's going on from behind the scenes. So let us connect to the computer to the config port on the device with the USB-C cable. So it's actually downstream. I don't have anything downstream of this to be able to get into it at the moment. That was sort of an oversight on my part, but let me see if I can quickly put something together, because bonding needs to kind of be set up. And to do that, you have to gain access to it. One of the things they revealed yesterday during their talk about this router is that there's a connect port on the front. Let me go to the overhead. There's a connect port on the front here, so that if you are in a situation where you don't know you forgot the password of it and you can't get to plug something in, you could, or plug something in on the network that's already being used, you can talk to it directly via USB-C on the front, which I think is pretty, thinking ahead, pretty good. What now? Yes, we want to, wait, it's gone. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? So let's bring that website up again. 192.168.88.1. 192.168.88.1. We'll see if that comes up. And I wonder if having all the antennas this close together affects performance. My connection was interrupted. I know it was interrupted. The network change was detected. Okay, refresh. It says I'm using the wired network access. Good. Is taking too long to respond? That doesn't make any sense. Did I plug it into the LAN port? I did. I have blinky lights, so it does seem to have found it. Maybe I need to refresh the browser. Or refresh the whole laptop. Bonding, for those who do use it, is something that can make the difference between having a connection that is not great and having enough to get through. Because sometimes, like I was doing a live stream using Switcher Studio and using Speedify on an iPad. So the iPad was taking Wi-Fi from my phone and then taking Ethernet in from my Netgear and using both of those together and able to lean on either as needed to be able to get packets through when that it was not able to reliably do it with just one source. I'm going to close that. Yes, close off. So I'm hoping to get in, but my laptop does not seem to want to log into it. So I'm going to reboot the laptop. And maybe then it'll properly take a connection from this box. So any other, let's see, questions, USB-C, an OBSBot multicam setup through NDI. I have controlled the OBSBot cameras via NDI, so I know they do respond properly to NDI motion controls. You can through NDI, because that's how it works when you talk to an OBSBot camera using as a connected NDI device on the Director Mini per se. You know, for example, you can, you know, tell it to save settings. It has a standard interface. You can use NDI Studio Monitor and be able to connect to it. So it is something that does work properly. Now, if you don't have NDI, you can still use the OBSBot has that little remote that can talk to the cameras via RF and also save presets. And then you're not using NDI, if you don't want to pay for the license for each of the cameras, you can still set focus, zoom, position, and it's hard to type in a password and talk. And save those to 3 different presets on the remote. You'll also notice when you use the OBSBot talent to save presets for the OBSBot, you'll have 3 presets. And if you use NDI, you'll have 9 presets. Although I've had sometimes preset 4, 5, and 6 didn't seem to hold as well as it does on a straight NDI camera. So be that as it may, I would say yes, as long as the AVCAN's Joy Pro is something that is fully NDI compliant, it should be able to connect to the OBSBot cameras. If you've got NDI enabled on those cameras, it should be able to connect to them. So now I've got the computer back up and I'm hoping it will hit a login page. Yes, it took that long. And if it doesn't, it's going to be a really short show. Sorry. I sent him an invitation. He has not popped up yet, although maybe he did pop up and I didn't see him. Let me come back over here. Nope, it's just not logging in. 192, 168, 88, 1. 88, 1. Connect your computer to the config port on the device with a USB-C cable. All right, let's do that. We're going to change cables, not a LAN cable. USB-C cable. And the question was, if you use a cable that just does power, I'm going to say it's not going to have all of the pins connected so that you can dig into it. Now, do I have another USB port? Let's hope. Let's take that out. So now I'm not using the LAN. Wow, that worked really quick. That worked really, really quick. So go with the USB cable. The default is admin. We're going to sign in. Change a different password. No, don't save my password. Password is admin. New password. Not now. All right, so there it is, my device name. Actually, another thing that Ryan mentioned during the Stream Geeks summit yesterday was that this box is actually manufactured by an already known company. It's not some fly-by-night company you've never heard of. The miri is actually being manufactured by Magewell. He said it in a forum, so I'm going to repeat it, and if he doesn't like that, then he could tell me. But this is manufactured by Magewell, and as such, the interface looks like the Magewell Director interface. Kind of has that same look to it. If I was to log into my Magewell Director, it'd kind of look the same font, same, light, dark, the layout of the columns and everything. And you can add this to your Magewell cloud, meaning that once this thing connects to the internet, it shows up in your cloud and you could administer this box from anywhere, just like you could administer the Magewell Director from anywhere and do a live switch using the Magewell cloud service. So you can see, oops, you can see there's my WAN 1. Where's my, is this over here? Oh, this cursor over here. You can see here's my WAN 1. I have a 1 gig connection. There it is. Coming in, I have, since this is now connected through here, I wonder if I can, start. Now, while that's going, come back over here and see if my WAN, you can see WAN, this is just status over here. It's 5G, I don't have anything connected. Wi-Fi, I can connect it to my cell phone. LAN, here's your Speedify connection. Rerun it. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to create a demand. There it is. So you can see there is the demand that I just initiated, and here is the upload. So that right there is what I just did with the speed test. And I suppose I could come over here to the StreamTek channel and find a video on NDI cameras. So today we're talking about turn the audio off and then come back into the router, and there it is. So you're able to actively see what's going on with your data per your connection. And let us add another connection to this. Is your NIC on your PC set to DHCP? Yes, it is set to DHCP. But for whatever reason, it was not finding it when I hooked up the USB LAN cable. I would have thought that would have worked. I can check with them about that. Or if Ryan pops into the show, that would be great. There's no, nope, it just looks like me. And what I want to do is share my hotspot from here. And let's see if I can, with the WAN, enable Wi-Fi. Ah, okay. No. So right now Wi-Fi is access point, not Wi-Fi is going to be my access point, but not accessing, bringing in data, not my WAN. Or what I mean is, this is the access. What? Yeah, let's enable it anyway. It should find Frisco Studios. Please enter the Frisco Studios super secret password to access our network and all of our data. It's thinking, connected. No. So now that is connected, and I wonder if you can have 2.4 go out and 5 gig come in, or 5 gigahertz come in. It's not 5G. That's confusing, because 5G here is cellular, And then when you come down here, Wi-Fi 5G, it's not 5G, it's 5 gigahertz. 5G cellular is 5th generation. So we come back into Speedify and so you can see I've got my WAN and I've got my 5G that I just hooked up. And if I powered up my modem and plugged that in, if I plugged in a SIM card, I don't have extra SIM. Do I have an extra SIM card? I can try that. I have one put on here. And let's go. I did not set all this up ahead of time because I wanted to kind of go through the process with you on camera. But I'm now feeling like I should have done some of this stuff ahead of time. So apologize for that. We are going to pop out a SIM tray. Probably somewhere in the instructions is don't do this while the unit is on. Okay. This is me not doing it while the unit is on. So there's your parents' share at the bottom there. Qualcomm and the Director Mini discovered. Very nice. Pair with the Director Mini. Don't pair with the Director Mini. Ooh, I could start a speed test from here. Nice. It did not find the SIM. Oh, look at that. It's not showing it here on the front or here in the dashboard, but on the front, you can see I've got cellular connected. So I've got my WAN, I've got my Wi-Fi, and I've got the cellular I just put in, and it says it's 4G cellular. It says it's Edge. Probably because I haven't paid to have that car filled up ahead of time. But it's there, and it recognizes it. So it's interesting that I'm not seeing it pop up right here in the dashboard. Maybe let's refresh this. Oh, wrong mouse. Sorry, I got two mice here. There we go. And scroll down. No, still just sees the two. But technically, I should still be playing this video. I am. And we should open link in the new tab. Waiting for data to come down. Hey, we could watch this show. Let's watch one of these producer conversations. This is a good one. The producer conversations, if you haven't seen them, are conversations with producers like you and discovering how they do, what their what their business is, how they do their business, how they got into the business, and what advice they might want to offer to others who are doing the business. And now I've got both of those going, and you can see it's very packetized. It's like, boof, I got a burst of data, boof, I got a burst of data, boof, I got a burst of data. And it's doing that and it's buffering. It's taking a whole bunch of stuff. Here's another burst of stuff. Here's another burst of stuff. And this is how you can really see this stuff. I did not have to sign up for Speedify ahead of time, but you can see right down here, I've got this Alfred Dorn SLX gmail.com. I'm guessing that is a free account created automatically to get you up and running. And if you have a Speedify account, you can definitely log in with your existing account and be able to use your pool of data. Here's the control hub that I was telling you about. So if you have the control hub set up, you can then hook this to that control hub, and then from the control hub reach into the miri and control it, adjust the settings, make updates to whatever you needed to make updates to. Oh, I wanted to actually do a speed test from here. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to pop them into the comments, because this is a live show. This is, you're not watching a recording. If you were watching a recording, you wouldn't be able to ask questions. I mean, you would, but the answer would not be coming immediately. Another device that I have used the bonding on is the YOLO box. And the YOLO box has a its own bonding service. They do their own bonding, and you have to pay for it. And what it does, it can combine the Ethernet, the built-in SIM, which is right here, and the Wi-Fi connection to a cell phone or a hotspot. So you get 3 connections, and it will bond all of those together. And it's a nice little convenient box. And I've known people who just use the mini just for bonding, because it's like the smallest, cheapest version of it out there. I'm certain it's not going to be like this. It's not going to give you the fine level control. It's not giving you a dashboard telling you what's working and what's not working. Being able to assess how much data is going out which connection, and then also to be able to provide an endless power supply by swapping out batteries, and a convenient touch screen that is, you know, focused on having, you know, like the website said, it said 7 connections, 7 links simultaneously. So you get the internal modem, second internal modem, 2 gigabit Ethernet connections, your Wi-Fi connection, plus 2 USB modems. So there's your 7. But then also, it allows you to expand that with Speedify pair and share. So it's more than 7. And honestly, each device that you connect to can have issues as well. You know, I had an instance where I did put this Netgear outside and the sun was beating on it, and it actually overheated and shut down. Thankfully, again, I was bonding, so it wasn't the only source. But when I saw the fact that things were not working as well as they were 10 minutes ago, I started poking around, and I found this thing was, you know, out in the sun and it overheated. So I put like a little sun shield over it and got it back up and running. That is something that you can only assess when you have the ability to see those data rates. Let's come back up here. When you have the ability to see what's going on in the machine. And if you're doing, you know, a critical type of production and you need this data, having this dashboard can mean everything. This weekend, I will be doing the Fort Worth Parade of Lights in Fort Worth, Texas. And I've done this show before, and I have provided bonding services. And at the time, this was not available. So I used Teradek, and I used the Teradek hardware. And then on my iPad connected to it, I had the dashboard open, and I could see, you know, the 2 cellular modems, our LAN, and everything that was connected, and able to see it load balance and adjust the data rate, because we were in a crowd. So you could see as the crowd filled up, the cellular kind of went down a little bit over time, and it had to like balance that out across multiple connections, because we were not able to get as powerful and as much data through cellular as it was before the audience showed up. So seeing that dashboard can mean, you know, everything. You know, it gives you insight. Knowledge is power, and that is a very important thing. Check for a firmware update. I'm not going to check for, oh, okay, I'll check for firmware upgrade. Let's go. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong mouse again. Come over here and come up to system, firmware. Just a manual update. So it's not checking, it's not going to check on its own and update. It's just version 10838. And if I come over here, support, downloads firmware, 838, and they've got an 870. So yes, there is a firmware update in the time from when it was made to when I opened the box to do this show. There was an update. So new features, add the ability to change RJ45 connections to either WAN or LAN. Added the online update feature function, which we don't have, which automatically checks for update servers, and updated Speedify to 15. So yes, there's an update, but it's a long, wonky process that I'm not going to do during the show. Another comment comes in. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I'm just going to move this cursor over here. It would be good to see how it would work on just cellular connections streaming out an HQ signal. It would be good. And I think I will be doing a video on this, and I will definitely be hooking up cellular, because I think that would be the primary use for people who do bonding, is like, I want to hook up multiple cellulars. Unlike a live view, which does not have all of these antennas sticking on it. I don't think this is more of a location, sit it down on a table thing. I don't feel this is as backpack oriented as a live view solo or something like that. But I definitely think this is more like mission critical type of thing, where I need to have this thing sitting in front of me and see what's going on the front of it. Actually, let's take a look at the front of it. So you can see the cellular, right? The cellular, it's actually giving me colored icons. So I've got yellow on the 4G cellular saying it's not doing really good. I can see my up and down. That SIM is out. This WAN connection is out. This WAN connection is great. And my Wi-Fi connection is great. I think they should have little green dots on them if they're really great. And I wonder if you can tap on the Speedify and get data. Yep. What does that say? Go back? Go back. There's a little very dark icon on the side. Let's just take this full. And if we click on the WAN, send and receive. So it's telling you to send and receive for each item individually. Here's my Wi-Fi. That's connected to my studio Wi-Fi. It tells me what else is here. And then the cellular, my signal strength, IP address, subnet mask. So it seems like it's not, I don't have numbers for that. So it's like it's not connected. Yeah, 0 up, 0 down, probably because this SIM does not have a data subscription. So technically, I don't think that should be yellow. I think that should be red. Like it's in there, but there's no data. And then what I would love to see is I would love to see a dashboard, device info. I would love to see like a heads up display showing me that, where is it? WAN. I would love to see this graph. Wow, look at that. I would love to see this graph on the front of the unit, because this, right, I think is one of the more critical as you go type of pieces of information. I want to see this on the front of the display so I can have this up and it's showing me 3 connections, da 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 da. This is what's going on, total down, total up, and everything. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, why would somebody bother to do this as opposed to just do this? This is so much smaller, lighter, easier. As somebody says, physical look at the miri gives it the pro look. I know what I'm doing. It does. But, this is smaller, lighter, cheaper, faster, and it bonds. And you could go with a live view, bigger, heavier, and costly, with the service and the cost of the units. But the thing that these don't do, that this does, is the miri gives you data. What you do with it is up to you. You can use this bonded data for all your data needs. This is bonded. The YOLO box is bonded. It only bonds the video stream out. That's it. Now you pick out your phone and it's like, oh, I want to check the stream. I don't see any comments over here. Are we getting comments online? I can't tell because I don't have an internet connection. This is doing bonding. Yay, great. But that bonded connection is not shared to anything else. And the real thing that one of these boxes gives you, and there's other sources, but one thing that a device like this gives you is it's bonding data, and what you do with that data is up to you. Because like I said, it's got 2 LAN outputs, and with the update, if you're using 4 cellular connections on the front of this thing, then you could have 4 LAN outputs wired and your Wi-Fi. So that's a lot of computers and devices all being able to access that data. So not only are you sending your video stream, you've got another laptop running, moderating the chat, making sure nobody's posting ads in your chat. And you've got somebody else over there posting polls and user questionnaires and driving engagement and things like that. And then you've got somebody else answering emails from the corporate office. All 4 of you are sharing the bonded data, which is where this thing really comes into play over a video. A video is a great streaming tool. It's going to make sure that video signal gets out. Do you get to use that bonded connection anywhere else? No. It's a backpack that you feed your video signal into, and I've got my camcorder, and I'm running around, I'm running and gunning, and I'm sending, that signal's super reliable. That's what they're great for. This signal's super reliable, but I'm not going to also be able to use it on my laptop. So that is something I feel that these boxes really do make a difference. Even here in the office, I could take my LAN connection and then also add a SIM card to this and make that so when I do live streaming like this show from the office, I have my primary and my secondary always going at the same time, and I never have to think about it. Plus, it's also available when I go over to a laptop to show you, hey, this laptop connection is on that same bonded connection. So, hey, if my, primary LAN connection goes down, or my primary Ethernet WAN connection goes down, I'm still able to send you my stream, and I'm still able to browse the internet and show you data while I'm doing that. And that, I think, is one of the key benefits of going to a bonded device or a bonding appliance like this, is that it's not limited in purpose. How do you want to do it? You don't have to use this for streaming at all. This could be perfect for a mission critical, emergency services vehicle. They're not sending video, but they need to make sure that wherever they go, they have access to as many connections as possible so that all of the data that they need on the truck and all the information that has to go in and out is reliably sent and received over whatever connections are available. And they don't have to think about it. This thing just sits there, like I said, rack friendly. It just sits in the rack and just happily churns away, you know, making that connection and getting the data in and out. So I can fold these down. Hey, I can fold these down. So I think that is a good first look at the Miri. I need to do a bit more testing with cellular, you know, per Glenn's question on just cellular connections. But the nice thing is here that I've got the multiple connections, and if I was using it to stream, you know, I'd have to have set up another computer to actually push data through it. It's not a streaming appliance. That what happens when your stream is going, oh no, my WAN went away. Is it still streaming? Technically it should. And if we look at the data, you'll see that, actually let's go over down here. Oh, wrong mouse. There it is, my WAN is disconnected, but my 5G is still there. My wireless connectivity is there. And when I plug that WAN back in, we'll see how fast that comes back up. It's got an IP address, boop, it's back. And then it's re-added to the pool of connections that I have. So, and this can happen constantly, especially with cellular. You'll find cellular bottoms out, comes back up, bottoms out, comes back up, especially in an event where there's, you know, thousands of people, that's going to happen. So that's why I was saying having that heads up display, this display on the front would, I think, be really valuable. Question comes in, would you use that with the Director Mini or just use the Speedify in the Director Mini? I would just use the Speedify in the Director Mini because it's built in, and you know, it depends upon whether I needed it to do other things. You know, if I'm just worried about streaming the data, then I'm going to use the Speedify in the Director Mini. If I am setting up a production table and I need everything to be redundant and have access, then the Miri is definitely going to be the tool of choice. You know, whereas if you're doing like a backpack solution, you take the Director Mini, you know, it's on top of the camera, I could bond my thing, but the goal is really to get this video signal out. I don't have laptops and social media people and you know, producers and everything who all want to, you know, share that data pool as well. Did you mention the price? I did not mention the price because I actually don't know the price. Let's see if they got a buy. Let's go to the buy page. Let's bring this up on the screen with the PC side by side. Order the X51 X510 early 2025. MSRP is $16.95 USD in the United States. Prices will vary internationally, of course. You can order directly through the online store. International customers who purchase through a reseller, or you can purchase through here, and what they'll do is they'll forward your information to a reseller. Boop, boop, boop. I'm going to click on the online store, see what it says. There it is. So that's, like I said, it's available at, oh, that goes to shopmiri.tech. So 16, but that's retail. What it, you know, when it goes to B&H, what the actual price will be, whether there'll be bundles. Hey, get it bundled with a couple batteries, and if you know, they said at the seminar they'd be working on with a partner on directional antennas. So there could be several different kits available, just like with the LiveView Solo. Different packages, you know, whether you want the modems and the data or whether you got your own and things like that. So there's lots of I think there's going to be lots of flexibility when this actually does come to the retail market in terms of things. Hey, Ryan is on Facebook right now. Hey, Ryan, I sent you a link to join me in the show if you wanted to. Boom, 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 boom. $16.95 USD. He says it right there. And a great seminar yesterday at the Stream Geeks. So that was very well received, and I you know, having Speedify there, someone from Speedify to actually talk about like the back end of it as well, and really give insight to the pair and share capabilities, I think is a very interesting aspect that I don't think really gets enough understanding. In that, would love to join you in the show. Go on the conference call. Let me jump into the comments. Thank you. I think the pair and share is something that it's powerful, but it's really understated. It's like all behind the scenes technology, so that, you know, it's like, hey, you know, Speedify is not a per device thing. It's a when you sign up for the Speedify account, it's available for all the devices you want to put it on. So, and I'm not selling Speedify. I actually don't have a Speedify account right now. They're not paying me to say this, and I haven't been comped in any way from Speedify. I have used Speedify. I had a multi-year account when I was doing a lot of stuff on my iPad with Switcher Studio, and that was my bonding tool. And the nice thing was I had it on my iPad for my live production, but then I also had it on my cell phone, and then I also had it on my desktop. And, you know, now with the parent share, which I don't think was a thing back in 2020 and before, having the ability to have that account and have the app logged into that account on multiple devices and have the data seamlessly flow between devices without having to really think about it and worry about it. Oh, let me share my data with you. Oh, you share your data with me because I don't have any. No, they just make it easy. Everybody's going to share with whoever's got data. And I think that is a really cool feature that can benefit a box like this, because even if you buy it for a box like this, now if I have my Verizon phone or my, you know, T-Mobile phone or my AT&T phone, and I'm paired or I'm connected with this device, now the data on my phone, without me having to expressly make it as a dedicated connection, is available through pair and share, and it's just ebbing and flowing as far as I know. Unfortunately, we don't have like somebody from Speedify here to really give us the deets on that, but per my understanding of what he explained yesterday at the Stream Geeks Summit, that is how it works. I reserve the right to be wrong. So if I am wrong, sorry, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, it's really cool. So thank you, Ryan, for jumping in here at the very end. We have been going for an hour, and I appreciate you all being here for the unboxing and demonstration of the Miri X510. Should have just called it the X5, or no, the X7, because it's got 7 connections. There you go. And hey, I look forward to digging into this a little bit more for the video that will follow up this live show. So once again, thank you all for being here. If you are looking for me on the web, I am on the StreamTek channel on the web, and we now have a website called StreamTek, StreamTek.us. And my name is Anthony Barogas. I am the chief gearhead here, and I appreciate all of you being here to join me in this cool look at the Miri bonding appliance. And till next time. Oh, wait, a couple comments come in. Just quick thank you for the video on the Bluetooth mini numpad for keyboard with the Director Mini. That is great for running scoreboards for sports streaming. I'm using it right now. Thank you very much. I'm glad that worked for you. And till next time, till next week, I hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching.